How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
It's Tim Brown,
Tracy Kelly.
and we're talking about how healthy is your business in
20 questions.
20 questions through this wonderful, delightful tool from the book Traction.
Yeah.
We're on our fourth. Wait, you
One,
can tell us
two,
Monday.
3, 4. We don't need your thumb, Tim.
Fourth video in the series of Traction EOS, and I'm clearly at the end of it. I'm ready to be done.
There's a reason we're not implementers. We're just fanboys.
Yeah, we
Traction.
We are not. We are not implementers of this system. However, I think it's really good for small business owners, and I've seen a couple small business owners do really well when they use VTO or the EOS and Traction system. And we're going to go through these 20 questions kind of quick. Before we do that, I want to talk about the importance of having some criteria for measuring your business's health. And I think that it's nice to have something to judge your business by. It's weird when you go out as an entrepreneur, it feels like there's really no rules. It's strange. Like, they let anyone do this? They let anyone start a business? I mean, technically there's no real criteria for somebody in their ability to start a business.
Yeah.
Who let me do this? Sometimes I ask myself. But really the thing is like, if you can find some basic criteria to judge yourself, it's good because you can kind of come back to that criteria quarter after quarter, year after year, and say, where am I at on this? And Traction, the book Traction, and the system of the entrepreneurial operating system, EOS, is a really nice, it has some 20 questions to measure where your business is at. And those things are good things for any business to know and are not that crazy complicated. So we're going to go through these 20 questions kind of quick, and then we'll circle back or talk about any ones that we find interesting. I'll start.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to rate yourself on 1 through 5 on this. The first question is, we have a clear vision in writing that has been properly communicated and is shared by everyone.
Number 2, our core values are clear, and we are hiring, reviewing, rewarding, and firing around them.
Number 3, our core business is clear, and our systems and processes reflect that.
Number 4, our 10-year target is clear and has been communicated to everyone.
Number 5, our target market is clear, and our sales and marketing efforts are focused on it.
Number 6, our differentiators are clear, and all of our sales and marketing efforts communicate them.
Number 7, we have a proven process for doing business with our customers. It has been named and visually illustrated, and everyone is adhering to it.
I like that one. Number 8, all of the people in our organization are the right fit.
Number 9, our accountability chart, organizational chart of roles and responsibilities is clear, complete, and constantly updated.
Number 10, everyone is in the right seat.
And I think that one bears a little bit of clarification. Yeah. It just means like maybe people in your organization are really good at one thing and they're doing something else. They're really good at finances or something like that, and they're administrative assistant or something like that. You know what I mean? So there's the ability to move people around.
Yeah.
11, our leadership team is open and honest and demonstrates a high level of trust.
Number 12, everyone has rocks and is focused on them, and there's only 3 to 7 per quarter. And what is a rock? Simply put, a rock is a quarterly goal, something you're working towards.
13, everyone is engaged in regular weekly meetings.
Which reminds us, we better keep moving. We've got ours coming up here.
Yes.
Number 14, all meetings are on the same day and at the same time each week, have the same printed agenda, start on time and end on time.
And we'll just do a slight modification, save the trees. You don't necessarily need to print this. This book's a little old. We love it, but it's a little old. And you don't necessarily need to print the agenda. But I think the point is that the agenda is set in stone and everybody knows what the agenda is.
Yep.
15, all teams clearly identify, discuss, and solve key issues for the greater good and long term.
Number 16, getting close, 80% of the way there. Our systems and processes are documented, simplified, and followed by all.
Number 17, we have a system for receiving regular customer and employee feedback, and we know their level of satisfaction.
Number 18, we'll be talking about this in a few minutes in our own meeting. A scorecard for weekly metrics and measurables is in place.
Number 19, everyone in the organization has a number. And I think that it is important to know what that really means is essentially there's one key metric for the business's overall success that each person is responsible for. There's a very clear one number that each person in the business is responsible for.
Lastly, number 20, we have a budget and are monitoring it regularly, example, monthly or quarterly.
And the way you tally this up is you're supposed to total the number of your ones, your twos, your threes, your fours, and fives separately, and then multiply by, for ones, you're supposed to multiply it by 1. For twos, 2, threes, 3, fours, 4, and fives, you're supposed to multiply that by 5s. And then you add all the numbers to determine the percentage score that reflects the current state of your company.
Yeah, the nice way that they set this up is basically it's a maximum of 100 points. And so however many points you get, that's your percentage out of 100. Super easy.
And since I started this, our company has gone from like 40-ish% to 100%. Obviously, if you know the criteria beforehand, you slowly are working on this every quarter. You're not going to get up to, they want you to be up to 80%. You're not going to get up to 80% immediately, and you shouldn't, right? You just need to slowly work towards solid, and then every quarter you get better until it's been a couple of years since I've been doing traction. I think it's been a couple of years, maybe a year and a half. And we're now at over 80%, and that's where you want to be.
Yep.
It's just nice to have some clear criteria for measuring your business, especially when it feels like there's no rules as an entrepreneur. It's nice to have some, to be honest. It's nice to have some structure. It's nice to have some way to judge yourself, your company, and how well you're doing. And I'd say that this criteria matches up well. If you do all these things, it would be hard for you not to be a somewhat successful business.
Absolutely. And I think, just to echo that, I think that's why we appreciate Traction so much is it's a framework for operating a business. It's a framework for growing that business. And like you said, there are no rules in terms of how you're supposed to run your business. And so this framework just provides some clarity. And you get everybody reading the book, you get everybody learning the system, you get everybody on the team understanding what you're doing. The team just functions better.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things is then you go to a sales meeting with a potential client and they talk about like a rock and you're like, ooh, I understand that word. Are you guys on Traction or EOS?
Yeah, a lot of people are.
And you find out that a lot of people are. So it's super helpful. It's a common language that business owners have.
Yeah, and it's called Traction. And I think it's important to think about the fact that traction just essentially means everybody moving in the same direction, right? And a lot of times you think, we've talked about this before, where we've talked about how you think everybody knows what's in your head as a business owner or as a business leader, but a lot of people don't. So you've got people kind of going this way and people going that way. There's a really awesome book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. And he says, if you get all the people in an organization rowing in the same direction, you could dominate any industry in any market against any competition at any time. And that's powerful, right? Because you have however many people, you've got 2 people, you've got 10 people, you've got 40 people in your organization. And that's a lot of time and that's a lot of effort every single week. Yeah. But if they're going like this, it's not powerful. But if they're going like this and it's laser focused and you have a clear differentiating thing and you have a clear target market, it's insanely powerful because it's a lot of effort in the same way, right? Yeah. It's probably how the pyramids were made. I don't know. Well, it was wonderful hanging out with you and talking about the 4. What was it? No, it's our 4th video in the series. This many. But anyways, this is our last video in the series. And I am super happy to have shared stuff about EOS and traction with you guys. And, you know, it's a crazy powerful system. I would definitely say it's helped us grow, and it's helped us be a little bit more on the same page with the people internally.
Absolutely.
I hope it does for you. And we'll move on to something else, maybe closer related to 2020 and planning for 2020 in this next week. So thank you guys for joining us. Join us next week for Monday Morning Marketing and Coffee, modified for 1 month to Monday Morning Management and Coffee.
Ooh.
And we might come back to that at some point, because I don't know, a lot of people, same people that are worrying and thinking about marketing are also thinking about managing groups of people. And we really appreciate your attention. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And do a little bit more of what you love this week. Just a little bit. All right, guys. Have a good one.